everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking about paper. My biggest questions are what type of paper do you use? Where do you get it? Can I use this paper over that paper? So I'll try to answer all those questions here in this video. So one of the questions I get most is what type of paper do you use? And typically I use cardstock. Can you use any other paper? Can you use construction paper? Can you use printer paper? Why not? There's no hard and fast rule. If you're on a budget and this is all you can afford, printer paper would work great. They'll still look fine. There are some differences if you're using cardstock over printer paper, but it should be fine. One of the biggest differences between printer paper and cardstock is if I have two pieces of paper here, this one is a cardstock and this is a printer paper, you'll see that printer paper usually is like 20 pound, 27 pound, maybe something less than that. It's a lot thinner. So some of your flowers might just fall over, whereas if you have cardstock, it may not fall over as much. So depending on what type of flowers you're using, they may droop. But if you are hanging them on a backdrop and you glue a lot of the flower down, this shouldn't matter because flowers usually lay flat, right? But if you have a wall, you don't want the flowers to sort of bow forward or fall forward because of the paper. But if you make certain types of flowers or you make smaller flowers, I think printer paper works fine. If you have it, it's cheaper for you, go ahead and use it. Cardstock, I think it works great. It holds up very well. I have flowers that have been sitting in my room or hanging in my room for over a year and they are still fine. They haven't really drooped forward. They haven't really faded at all, but I also take steps to make sure that they don't fade. I don't keep them on a wall with a lot of sun. But in general, cardstock is great for your flowers. Next question is what type, right? So if it's cardstock, what type of paper did you use? There's different weights. The one that I recommend most is 65 pound weight. So this paper, I'll also answer where did I get my paper? I buy my paper at Michaels.com or Michaels. That is a craft store here in the US. I'm not sure if they sell the same product, but I know there's Michaels in Canada. Essentially, Michaels is all over the US, maybe all over Canada, but I like to choose my paper from Michaels because it's local. You can either order it online and ship in the US, and so I like to choose one because it makes no sense for me to choose some paper that might be hard to get, hard to source, or may cost a lot of money. So at Michaels, they have these 65 pound paper packs. They're 50 pieces for, right now they're selling it for $5 a pack. So this is what 50 pieces look like. And there are a lot of different colors usually. So here I have a rose color. This is the red that I've used in the extra large rose video, if you've watched that video. Here's the purple passions pack. I've made a lot of different flowers here, and the different purples work well if you like purple, or purple's one of your colors in your wedding or a party. They have usually a lot of colors that work well together, so you don't need to buy different paper packs. And even just the pink buttons pack, which is a very popular paper pack that many people use. So there's different colors of pinks. But essentially, it is 65 pound paper. That is a paper weight. If you can only find 67 pound or 60 pound or even 80 pound, I'd say go ahead and go for it. I would advise against using maybe 110 or a higher weight, because what happens is the paper is so thick that as you're gluing it, sometimes it just falls apart. Either you use a very strong glue or try to avoid using it. If it's close in weight, like I said, if it's 60 or 67 pound, you're fine. It's not going to make a huge difference. Go ahead and use it. Not every manufacturer has every weight and every color available, so you kind of have to choose what you have on hand or can order. If you're outside of the US, 65 pound is equivalent to 176 grams per square meter. And it can be really hard to find this. I have had many emails from people all over the world saying they can't really find this. I would say try to find the best paper that you can get. It's not a huge deal if you use this paper versus another. I know that in the US, there's a lot of paper available, but in other countries that may be harder to source. So you use whatever you have on hand. It is not a huge deal if you have to use something lighter or you have to use something a little bit heavier. So I get a lot of questions about where I get my shimmer paper from, and again, it is Michaels.com or Michaels in store. They sell a lot of their shimmer paper on the open stock racks where there's scrapbook paper. Usually it's 12 by 12 size. I believe they have a paper pack with 2 colors of shimmer paper. I'm not sure the quality on that. I've seen it myself and I think it's less shiny. So I like to buy the 12 by 12 sheets. Usually these are 79 cents a piece. I like to wait until there's a sale. Usually 2 times or 3 times a year, Michaels will have a sale where they're 5, 6, or 7 pieces for $1. And when that comes around, I usually stock up. I usually buy online in bulk. But essentially, that's where I get it. It is pricey for a single sheet alone, but I think the paper is worth it if you're using it for something that is a huge event and you want to have a backdrop for pictures. So I wanted to go through all the different colors that Michaels offers. I have all but one, I believe. So I wanted to go through all the colors that Michaels has. I believe that they have a parent company, and the parent company is called Neenah Paper. They may also make similar paper. I'm not sure if Michaels Recollections brand is the same as the company or they buy it from that company and slap their name on it. I'm not sure how that works, but I've seen a lot of paper that is similar also sold by Neenah Paper, so I'll leave the link for that below. But this is what you can get from Michaels if you have one nearby. So the first one is Pink Shimmer. This is the one that I used in my large rows. A lot of people ask about where this paper is purchased because it has that nice sheen to it. It's very glittery or shimmery, so this is good for birthday parties, maybe girl birthday parties, a wedding, a bridal shower, anything like that. This is great. These papers are one-sided, so you'll have one side with a nice sheen to it, and then it's a matte color underneath. So this one is Pink Shimmer. I will leave a link below to where you can find that on Michaels website. This one here is Silver Shimmer. So it also has that sheen. All these papers will, and it's a nice silver color, a little bit dark, sort of like a dark gray with a shine to it. So this one here is Tiara Shimmer, as in the head accessory like a princess wears. So a tiara shimmer, it's a light gray shimmer to it. But online it's linked a little bit differently. It says tiara on the link, but it'll give you the option to buy this one, which is called Gray Shimmer. So this one has a light gray tone to it. It is similar to some other paper that I have. So here what I have is 3 different colors. They look somewhat gray. So this one is called White Gold. I don't mean to mess it up. I don't mean to get it out of order, but you can see there's a slight difference if you compare the 3. So this one is a light silver. It's light gray and silver, but you can tell it's darker than these 2. This one is a Gray Shimmer, and this one is called White Gold. So these are all 3 shimmer papers, but they're slightly different when you look at them side by side, but they'll look somewhat similar if you look at them individually. So those are the 3. This one here is a dark blue. It's kind of navy blue or black in the back, but it kind of looks black on some lights and then a very dark blue or navy blue. So this one is called Excalibur Steel. This one here is more of a royal blue. You'll notice that it looks navy blue on the back, but it's more of a royal blue when you look at the shimmer side. This one, I believe it's called Chocolate Shimmer or something close to that. It's found where the brown paper is, so you won't miss it. It's a nice like rich brown color with that gold sheen to it. So it looks sort of gold or brassy to it. This is a nice color if you are using it in the fall perhaps. There is one more color that I don't have, and I just realized that I don't have it. It's more of a purple color, maybe a dark purple. It is called Merlot, so I will link that below, but I don't have an example of what it looks like here, unfortunately. So White Gold Champagne Pearl is what I like to use. These are the original colors that I use for my backdrop for the wedding. And again, I'm pulling White Gold out to compare it. So White Gold I think is a great bridal color if you want to use it for a wedding, if you just want to use like a white shimmery backdrop behind a sweetheart table, or instead just for a photo backdrop or something like that. I think this white gold color is great for a wedding. But for my wedding backdrop, I use this Champagne Pearl color because I like the color, but also the name has my nickname in it. It has a sort of warm tone to it. It's a little yellower, a little bit, it looks a little bit more gold and warm. But again, this is called Champagne Shimmer. This is the paper that I use most often for my videos in the past. And the last one is this gold color. This is what I use a lot for my centers, especially the ones I use for my wedding backdrop. This one is called King Gold, and it's more of a dull orangey gold. It's not too bright. You can see there's a little shimmer to it. And the back is more like tan or brown sandy color. But I like this paper because it allows other colors to pop out, especially the champagne pearl color. So I thought these paired nicely together, which is why I use them. This is a good gold for your centers if that's what you're using, or for any gold elements like leaves and such. So that's all I have. Let me know if you have more questions on paper. Let me know in the comment section below, or if you want to send me an email. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.